Hello everybody and welcome back to RogueTech, where we are currently needing to do a little bit of repairs, particularly to the Corsair. Look, we're probably not going to wait for the Corsair to be done before we deploy, but let's go ahead and tick forward a bit here, see if we're going to hit this financial report. I'm not 100% certain yet, but there's our final Argo upgrade done. So if we hop into the engineering, look at that. Completely done. No more drain on our funds from the Argo. Fantastic. So we're going to have a financial report here in 3 days. I think that's exactly when the Mauler is going to be done. We could, however, do this. That would guarantee that the Mauler and the Awesome are done, and then the Battlemaster and the Corsair would not be. This is a better way to do it. So we're going to do exactly that. And you can see here the Battlemaster is going to be 1 day after the financial report. I want to just go ahead and deploy before this financial report here. I want to have a nice good nest egg. So we're going to go ahead and give a point of piloting to boot camp. And what else do we have here? Point of piloting to poet sounds good. And that all looks great. Okay, so let's hop into the command center. And where do we want to deploy? Well, probably not the absolute most challenging things we can, although this is awful spicy looking. It's a lot of max pay. This is a free priority salvage right here. So theoretically, we should sit here. I would prefer it to be a free priority salvage in the other direction, unfortunately, but honestly, I think this is good. We'll do it. It's potentially going to be difficult for us. We'll bring the Orion, and Poet, you don't have Orion affinities. So who needs to come here? Coma has Orion affinities. Sounds good. We also don't have a mech for Panzer. What affinities do you have? You do have Wolverine affinities. And Panzer can't die if the Wolverine collapses around her. So I think that's okay. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll deploy this. It's a battle in the Highlands, 4-skull difficulty, and I think we should do reasonably okay, but that pay output does mean that we could potentially be seeing quite a lot of enemy troops, or very powerful enemy troops. One of those. One of those for sure. Or both. It could theoretically be both. Because RogueTech is RogueTech. Only one way to find out, though. So we need to destroy enemy units. We're currently trying to engage in long-term operations in this system, which runs counter to pirate interests. They've hired a well-regarded mercenary outfit to engage the local pirate organization operatives on the planet's surface, and the mercenaries have sent a single, well-armed lance. We'd like you to counter that lance by intercepting and destroying it. I don't like fighting other mercenaries, but that's the nature of the business, indeed.
Command interface initiated.
Okay. Comm signals from this region. Sure. Do we have allies? We do have allies. Okay. Could get spicy. We would like to deploy down this ridge. In fact, deploying over here might not be terrible. We've got access to water if we need it. We have access to cover. We've got an LOS break in the base here. So honestly, I feel like this is not a terrible location to deploy. We can even retreat up the road quickly if necessary, but I don't think that will happen. We'll just confirm down over here. Get our 2 lances in there.
Time to get dirty. I see a lot of green out of my cockpit. Oh, I could get used to a place like this.
What are those?
Streak SRMs, I think.
Trees.
Well, that wasn't streaks.
Damage minimal.
Incendiaries. Okay. So far, they're going to have moved 3 of their mechs before we get a chance to move here. I don't hate that. They are getting some stray shot, to be clear. But that's okay.
Taking some heavy damage.
Our armor can handle that. And the only
Took a
one that they
heavy hit
haven't
there.
moved is this guy.
Reporting heavy damage.
This looks like an Orion, and I don't remember what these are. But at this point, it is
Awaiting
going to be our
orders.
Black Knight, and our Black Knight is going to just engage in over here. Yeah, there's flames on the way, but that's okay. We can fire on the... Yeah, that's an Orion. That's a Zeus, okay. That's a second Orion and a Grasshopper. Sure. It looks like the Zeus is our best bet here. We'll go ahead and Warlord. This is round 1, so we have no sensors.
Taking some.
Solid armor strip on the Zeus there. Now the Grasshopper moves. I'm not surprised that it fires on the Black Knight here. But it didn't do too much. And now
I'm
we
here.
can move in and in theory
here.
start to do quite a lot of damage to them. Note the in theory though, because it's round 1. So we'll see how much we actually get done here. Yeah, that didn't go well.
Commander?
The Mauler can close on in over this way, or we could make it to here, and that's what we're going to do. We're a little out of range for the Mauler, but the Zeus is still our best hit target, and so we'll Warlord to boost that up a bit,
Right, Commander.
and get a little bit of damage into the Zeus anyway. It's not building up much instability in that Zeus, though, is it? We're going to park our Wolverine over
Understood.
here,
Moving fast.
and we're just going to fire on that Zeus once again with the Warlord to boost our round 1 hit odds. Missing the PPC, but still getting a little bit of armor damage in there. We'll take it. Okay. For some reason, I thought that Orion had already moved.
Took a hard hit there.
I definitely thought that Orion had already moved, but I was mistaken. The Madcap Mark II is going to move up over here,
Position confirmed.
and we're going to Warlord and fire on that Zeus. Sadly, I think we stray shot our friend there. Didn't hear a report on that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that we hit that Wolverine's arm. Although that might not have been us. We're going to move up our Salamander.
Confirmed.
And now the Zeus is going to start taking some damage. It's only 37% hit odds, but let's do it. Okay, we did get a head hit there, but it's injury resisted. Our Orion is going to actually sprint, I think. If we can get a decent LOS here. I guess that's decent.
Going full throttle.
I'm not going to fire the Gauss rifle here because pretty good odds of stray shotting. But we are going to Warlord, and we're going to fire once again on that Zeus. Okay. Not much getting done there, in all honesty. Our allies have a Demolisher, but it's out of range. Okay.
Waiting for
The
orders.
Boar's Head is going to close in over here. We'd like to use its armor, if at all possible. But, of course, we're going to go ahead and Warlord. We're going to fire direct fire on this Zeus. There's no backstop, so we may just full-on miss, but let's see. We did not. That was a lot. The Zeus is unsteady, and our allies don't do anything of note. The Zeus moves immediately. That's unfortunate. Fires at the Boar's Head. This is exactly who I wanted them to fire at right now. It does use its incendiary rounds there.
Taking heat
That's fine.
damage.
So phase 21, the Orion moves. And now we're going to have a much easier time hitting them. They're firing at our Orion. Cool. I don't hate that. So now their Grasshopper and their Orion is going to move. So they move very early. There's no doubt about that. A little bit of splash damage there, and the Boar's Head is taking a bit of a beating, but this is
I
fine.
hate these guys.
This is exactly what I wanted the Atlas to be doing right now. Yeah, keep it up. That is a structure exposure, so the Atlas should probably be sheltered after this round, but that worked well for us, actually. We're going to move up with our Awesome here, and I would love to position it, like, up over here, actually. This is a good spot. We'll position it here, and we can fire on the Grasshopper, or on the Zeus, or on the Orion. And the Zeus is going to be the target here. Our other mechs are going to have a hard time hitting the Zeus, I think, so let's light it up. Engine destruction. Excellent. Okay.
Commander?
Our Black Knight is going to walk up and not sprint.
Copy that.
We want to get rid of that instability. And then we can fire on the Grasshopper, on the Orion, or on the second Orion. And the Grasshopper is the obvious choice here.
Firing on target.
Just due to hit odds. So that's a lot of armor reduction to that Grasshopper.
Yes, command.
Next, our Madcap Mark II is going to move forward here. The only clear LOS is on this Orion, so we'll take that shot, but I'm not happy about it. Okay, we got some damage in there. That'll do.
Aye,
Our Wolverine is going to engage up over here. And we're a little concerned about the Wolverine's health, but, I mean, it's a Wolverine. We're going to fire on this Grasshopper, try to make it unsteady. We may have succeeded there. Not quite.
generating a lot of heat.
Not quite. But the Salamander absolutely can step forward here. Like so. We do need to take a bit of a heat sink round. So we're just going to fire the MRMs out at this Orion.
Got it.
Cool. Pretty decent damage there.
Watch my heat.
Plainsman moves up, doesn't do anything of note. The Mauler is going to step in over on this flank, and we're a little concerned about heat here. I think that we're just going to fire the SRM-6. It's probably going to miss. Yeah. That's what I expected. Our friend the Demolisher closes in.
Orders.
Eventually, it's going to do some damage. But our Orion is going to pop up over here, and we can fire on either of their Orions. The obvious choice is actually to fire on this one. Okay. Structure exposure and LRM ammo explosion. Was that an LBX ammo explosion? It was an ammo explosion regardless, and that Orion is gone. So our Boar's Head is going to step forward. We want to protect the left side here. So we'll just position it something kind of like this.
On my way.
And heat is going to be a big concern here. So we're not going to fire the Arrow 4. We're just going to do this.
Affirmative.
We did miss with the sniper artillery, but the LRM did some damage into their Orion. Okay. Phase 20 is going to be their Grasshopper. Steps forward, goes for the Boar's Head again. That's starting to get spicy on that flank.
Taking heavy hits, Commander.
And their Orion is going to move
Standing by.
next. Our Black Knight is going to pop in over here
Roger that.
and try to be a bit of a threat. But honestly, the Grasshopper is the one we have to target here, just because of hit odds.
Affirmative.
So we might see some damage into the internals of the Atlas here. Let's see what this Orion decides to do. Wolverine. Okay. That was a foolish decision on the part of the Orion. It could have done so much more.
Standing by.
Our Awesome is going to close in over here. From here, we can attack both of these. And the obvious choice is clearly the Grasshopper.
Locked and loaded.
That's a lot of armor damage, and it's unsteady.
Standing by.
The Salamander is going to step over kind of towards the water over here.
Let's go.
And we're just going to fire at the Grasshopper here and sink a tiny amount of heat. Just fire those MRM-40s. This could easily kill the Grasshopper. Let's see if it does. A lot of armor damage there. LRM ammo explosion into a knockdown. The explosion was contained, so it has case of some variety. Plainsman moves up, does not fire. The Mauler is going to close in over here, and the Mauler goes for the kill on the Grasshopper. This is a just free kill here. There we go. And all that's left is the Orion. The Chasseur moves up a little bit,
Standing by.
but our Wolverine is going to pop up over this way.
Confirmed.
We're kind of blocking LOS here with this rock, which is unfortunate, but the Wolverine is going to not fire its PPC. and just try to build up some instability on the Orion here with the MRMs. We got a little bit. That's fine. Our allies haven't managed to fire yet, which I think is kind of funny, if I'm honest. We're just going to pop the Magcat Mark II into the water here and sink heat.
Standing by.
The Orion can position here and have a direct LOS. I really like it. Light him up.
Roger.
Very solid LRM damage there. The Orion is very, very close to being dead. Or not dead, but unsteady. The Boar's Head is going to position over here, and I think we're just going to go front arc and vigilance it. And then we're going to... Wait, is this in minimum range? It might be in minimum range of our artillery. I wasn't expecting that, if so. We could simply attack ground. Out over... Yeah, it's got to be minimum range. I definitely didn't expect that to be minimum range. I feel like we've shot that... Oh, it's in direct fire mode. I'm an idiot. Okay. Okay, that'll do the trick. That'll do the trick. Structure exposure into a knockdown, I think. No, the Orion is not knocked down, and it immediately moves. Fires on the Awesome, that's okay. I don't care about that.
Took a hard hit there.
Excellent. And this guy didn't even sink all of his instability, so the Awesome is actually going to back off into this water here
Confirmed.
and light him up.
Locking target.
The Orion is now unsteady again. Actually, it's not, surprisingly. It should be. I feel like that's a bug, but it also doesn't matter. So we're going to move in with the Black Knight here. We're in fire, yes, and we are going to Warlord this. Again, it feels like it should be unsteady. Yeah, it's mostly target moved. Well, that's +4. No sensor roll either. So, I mean, the Black Knight was never going to have great odds here, but it would have had better odds if this was actually unsteady, which it should be.
Confirmed.
It's still not unsteady. Okay. I definitely feel like that's bugged. We're going to hop the Salamander into the water here. We have direct LOS, and this has got to be a kill, right? This has just got to be.
Gotcha.
There we go. Okay, so it was only the one lance. They were fairly well equipped. And they did a decent amount of damage, to be sure. But that wasn't too bad, all things considered. We were able to breeze through them pretty easily. Our allies never even fired a shot. They were way out of range. I mean, we knew that that was going to likely be the case when we deployed so far forward, but 500k, I'm pretty sure we're not going to pay that much in repairs. The Atlas is going to take quite a lot to put the armor back on. There's no doubt about that. The Atlas got fairly shredded, but I also intended for the Atlas to get shredded in that situation because it had so much armor. So I'm fine with that. As far as these parts go, I mean... LBX AC-20s, it wouldn't be a terrible idea to have another one in stock for our Mauler, just in case. A solid stability gyro. I like that. And we've got Slug and Cluster LBX ammo. We don't really have in either of those. Let's take some Cluster ammo and call that good. We don't need an LRM-5. Advanced optics, we're keeping. The armor, we can definitely get rid of. A standard FCS, no thank you. We actually got quite a lot of LBX-20 ammo from that. That's great. LRM ammo and NARC ECM. I mean, that might not be a terrible idea to keep around. And some Listen Kill SRM ammo. I like it. So that's pretty great, all things considered. Wasn't even that difficult of a mission, although they did do a decent amount of damage to that Atlas in the one round that they got a good salvo off. And then they made really questionable decisions after that, like going for the Wolverine indirect instead of trying to fish for crits in the exposed torso of the Atlas. I'm so confused. Like, why would they do that? I don't get it. The AI in this game is questionable, shall we say. Okay. Yeah, 200k for repairs. I'm not super shocked by that, but that means that we are solid in terms of our income. We definitely made money off of that, and that's great. So we have a lot of work to do on the Atlas. We're not surprised about that one. They did manage to do a pretty good mauling of it. That is for sure. Let's go ahead and get some of these into descending order like that. And we're going to have to take this financial report. There's no doubt about that. But we've got time in this episode still. That mission did not take very long. So let's run this financial report. We'll go ahead and accept that. That's fantastic. And we're at 2.3 million C-bills. We're hoping that the Flashpoint campaign pops up soon. Moonlighting with an autocannon. We'll make him spend a week in the mech bay. Okay, so we gained a UAC-5 and UAC-5 ammo. Cool. He'll be unavailable for 7 days, but that's okay. We're going to be repairing for probably a similar length of time. So we'll just go ahead and tick forward for that. We're probably not going to wait for the Awesome, or rather the Atlas. Yeah, everything else is good to go. We've got a week on the Atlas. I'm okay with this. Let's check the mech bay, make sure everything is solid here. Yep, everything does indeed appear to be so. And let's hop into the command center and, or rather the barracks, and do any mech warrior upgrading that we need.
Good to... Yes. What are you... Command?
Ready for orders.
If any.
Standing.
Yes, command.
I'm here. Aye, aye.
Receiving you.
Yes, command.
Yes,
Nope,
command.
we don't need any. Okay, sounds good. So in that case, I do want to hop into the barracks, or rather not the barracks, but the mech bay again. And I want to check to see if there's any vehicle parts that we missed in here. Remember, our strategy with vehicle parts is just scrap them. Scrap them for the cash. So that is indeed what we're going to do. And I may be blind and I may have missed some, but I have not seen any thus far. I just want to make sure. Ah, here's one, a tiger. Excellent. There's a nice 22,000 C-bills. Okay. And next up, what might we have? That is pretty much it, but we do have a heavy APC here that we can get rid of for 11k, and we also have a warrior here that we can get rid of for 12k. That's not very much in the grand scheme of things, but that's okay. We are completely fine with that. While we're kind of messing around here, though, I want to check. Did I miss the Flashpoint notification? Like, that's Criminal Minds. It expires in 9 days. It's a different Flashpoint. We might want to head to something, though. But if we're going to do that, we should probably do a rather difficult mission. It's up in Tharkad. Okay. There are definitely flashpoints around. Anything up in Stranomecti? Yep. War of Reaving. We want to get there eventually, for sure. But for now, that's a long ways away. It's going to cost 1.5 million C-bills and 187 days. It's literally on the other side of the Inner Sphere. And, you know, way out in clan space. So that's the thing. It looks like our Flashpoint campaign is not currently up. So I think that we should just continue to make money here for right now. And next time that we make a large, or that we take a large amount of damage and it'll take quite a while to repair, I think we should travel somewhere else. For now, though, it's about time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to make a little bit more money and see if we can take some solid damage. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and I will see you all next time.